Hi,
Okay.
I'm April Miranda. I'm the
Hello.
president and co-founder of Gutsy Women Travel. It was founded right after 9/11.
Mm-hmm.
You had to be a little gutsy to travel
Uh-huh.
after 9/11, and unfortunately, even today,
Mm-hmm.
you need to have a little bit more conscientiousness before
Mm-hmm. Be very
making your
aware.
travel decision. So we started it in November of 2001. And the premise of it actually was doing due diligence on statistics for women, and it was staggering.
Okay.
At that point in 2001, 20% of women 40 and over
Mm-hmm.
were single, divorced, or widowed.
Wow.
And of the women who were in a relationship or married, 50% surveyed by a travel research company
Mm-hmm.
said that they traveled without their spouse.
Okay.
Either
That's like
because of
interesting
different
statistic.
interests, different vacations, or quite frankly, she just maybe wanted to take a trip on her own,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
or
Without
with her
husband
sisters or her
Mm-hmm.
daughters or whatnot. And no one was speaking to them at that time. Okay, there were adventure travel companies. Clearly, the genre for most travel companies was based on the couple dynamics, and I don't think people understood of what the statistics were showing. Fast forward to today,
Okay.
50%. 50%
Really?
of women today, 40 and over,
Wow.
are single, divorced, or widowed.
Wow.
Women are surviving their spouses.
Uh-huh.
Women are leaving their spouses,
Yeah.
and many women are not buying into the marriage concept. Many becoming professionals,
Mm-hmm.
especially not only the baby boomer market that was affected, but the market now after that.
Mm-hmm.
The women have become very entrenched in their careers.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have time to meet people, and they work so hard that they need a vacation to just re-energize themselves, and they feel comfortable in a travel company for women. So that's the basis of how the company started.
Yeah, and I was actually just going to take a quote right from your website. And it says, "Women need time to refresh themselves and renew their minds, spirits, and bodies." And I think that's really cool because that's probably like the goal of your whole company. And I thought that really directly tied into the third UN Sustainable Development Goal of good health and wellness. Because I feel like a lot of times people kind of only think of wellness and health as in the physical side. But there's a whole mental side of healthness.
Absolutely.
And it's so important.
Absolutely. You go on a plane and the flight attendants will say, put your oxygen on first and then attend to your chin.
Yeah,
you have to take care of me, you, before you can be of any benefit to yourself or others in your surroundings.
Yeah, exactly. So how did the idea for Gutsy Women Travel come about?
I was working for billionaire Carl Icahn, which was very fortunate.
Yeah.
And he actually came up to me and he goes, come up with an idea in travel.
Wow.
I'll fund it, but you come up with the
cool.
idea. So I did the research, as I mentioned, and there was a woman, Mary Beth Bond, who wrote a book, Gutsy Women.
Wow.
She had been working in finance and took 2 years of her life off to travel the world.
Wow.
Came back and wrote the book and became a spokesperson, a CBS commentator, and was doing, the circuit of seminars. And I invited her to speak at our sales meeting for the Icahn companies. And after the meeting, he came up to me and he goes, "Good job." He goes, "I think you're onto something." He goes, "Find out what she would want for us to buy the name, and you'll have the fun part of creating a travel component to the idea of Gutsy Women." And that's how it started.
That's really cool.
And 16 years later, it's now the largest travel company for women.
That is so awesome. That's really cool. So what kind of impact do you think that your company has on women and just kind of even society as a whole, if you want to make it broad?
Look, there are so many women out there, as I said, who are widowed, divorced, single, traveling on their own. displaced because of their jobs. They've now lost their friends. Think about it. A lot of people late in life, they move.
That's true.
They move, or they lose a spouse. They have to start all over again. So I would say the biggest thing that we've done for women is give them that comfort zone, that they're not going to be a fifth wheel traveling with other couples, and have the camaraderie of meeting like-minded women.
Women like them.
The first night of a Gutsy Women trip, everybody's, sharing their life story. By the end of the trip, they're hugging each other. Where are we going to go next? It's just what women do.
Yeah. They probably
it's just
like
what women do.
Relationships.
They like to open up to each other, and women have no issues talking to perfect strangers, and there's such commonality on the trips. Children, women who have children who have issues with drugs or psychological issues. Oh, I'm
like
experiencing that.
too,
Or I just went through a divorce. Oh,
so
me
they
too.
Help each other
or I just lost
this.
my husband. Or a lot of women on the trips, like myself, caring for their aging parents.
Yeah, that's true too.
I'm a caregiver to a 96-year-old Italian.
Wow, good for you.
We're probably going to celebrate her 100th birthday.
Wow.
So taking care of your parents has been another issue. So that women who are caregivers, we just need that time for us to get away. And it's amazing what can happen in a week.
Yeah.
That you could just re-energize yourself.
Yeah, I was going to ask, do you have any memorable experiences, either like one in particular that a woman shared with you, or one that you had from one of these trips?
I thought about that question that you proposed. There's so many.
Yeah.
But one of our marketing pieces is a button that we give to women. I'm Gutsy.
Okay.
And they wear it.
Cute.
They wear it
the whole trip?
in prep. They don't have to wear it, but we give it as a little memorabilia.
Okay, like a souvenir. Yeah.
And I remember on this trip, this woman, who really affected me, came up to me and she goes, "Do you think I can have another button?" I'm like, "Sure."
Yeah, why not?
So I said, "But why? You want to give it to a friend?" She goes, "No, I deserve 2 buttons because I just experienced having a double mastectomy."
Oh my God.
And I was told I'd never survive. And here I am going on an Italy
Traveling
trip.
the world. Yeah.
My dream come true. And I says, "Here, take." I gave her a few of them.
3 of them. Yeah.
And I mean, to me, that was amazing. But every trip has something. We just recently, I came back on our Morocco trip, which you have to do.
Nice.
And it's unbelievable.
Yeah, I studied abroad there for a little bit.
And someone was not feeling good.
Okay.
All right, now we had just met. I mean, we had 14
course.
women. No one really knew each other. Every day, someone was like, "How's Pat? How's she doing?" And we all took turns kind of making certain she was okay. That's what women do.
It's true. Like that motherly instinct in them. That's really nice. Can you talk a little bit about, you mentioned how on some of the trips you kind of incorporate some type of service or volunteer?
Yeah, for Peru. Peru, for example, I think everyone should go to Peru. It's just so magical, mystical, phenomenal. And because it's Gutsy Women, we do like to support women's group. So on that particular trip, we go to an area in the Sacred Valley where all the women came together making goods to sell as their husbands are away mining and building and working in cities. And we went there to support them and purchased things probably that we didn't even need, and sat in on a lecture with them. Also, when we were just in Morocco, we went to a women's group, and we did a hands-on cooking class with them and a tea class.
That's really cool, because you kind of mix kind of fun with also...
Not only that, they wanted to hear from us about American women.
That's true. You never think the flip side of it.
Absolutely. Of course, they're so intrigued with Gutsy Women because,
that's probably they
Morocco is an area where women are trying to get their rights and their abilities. And they just found such strength in us.
In you guys.
And there is strength in numbers when you think about it. It helps women.
Of course. So where do you see the future of the company?
The whole point was taking the power of women and taking it on the road. And I think we are going to be going into an area where trips will have more of a Ben and Jerry type of a component, where proceeds or a portion of the trip go into some type of education program, scholarship for women.
I think that'd be nice.
We want to have a Gutsy Women of the Year nomination, where we can extend a scholarship to women. It doesn't have to be somebody who's been on a trip, but do you know a Gutsy Women and things like that. We're turning 16 in November.
That's like a Sweet 16 you got. That's so cute.
We're going to be having a Sweet 16 at the Shelbourne Hotel. And past travelers will be coming, and we're going to take Gutsy to the next
level.
I mean, we have had over the 16 years thousands of women on our trips.
Course.
We've had so many past travelers. We have women who have been on 16 trips.
Wow, like one a year.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, we have people who take 2 or 3.
That's awesome. That's really cool. Do you have any advice for future innovators and business leaders?
Yes, I mean, first of all, do your homework. Do a business plan. I mean, you take it in school. I teach it here.
Yeah, there's a reason why you're taking it.
You need to have a plan. And you need to have, I was fortunate when Mr. Icon gave me the company, he gave me a year's salary for cash flow. And the first thing I did was trademark my name, trademark my logo, and trademarked the tagline. So, our tagline, it's Your Life, Live It.
Live it.
And I'll probably write a book.
On that.
It's Your Life, Live It.
Yeah.
But it protected my intellectual property, because once you become famous, famous to the extent that you came up with a great idea, I'm online and I'm seeing, people in China trying to copy my name, and, there's only one Gutsy Women Travel.
Yeah, exactly.
And so I did an LLC with that, but you definitely need to have some type of a legal background or support. You need cash flow. The most important thing that I purchased was insurance. Because I was in Cairo with 17 Gutsy women during the overthrowing of Mubarak. Yes, I was.
Okay, wow, that's an experience.
And no planes were operating, and we were stuck there for 3 days.
That's Gutsy Women.
Thank God I was on the trip, and I have to say, to have a very good handling companies is tantamount in this travel environment right now.
True.
And our handling agent was fabulous. It enabled us to move our property to another property out of harm's way, and coordinated everything with the State Department, and we eventually, it was the largest evacuation of U.S. citizens from a country. There was 5,000 Americans in Cairo at the time.
Wow.
And no planes operating.
That's
that will be in my book. That will be in my book.
Definitely one of the chapters. Wow. Yeah, that's incredible. And I guess to just kind of finish off, was there like a one time in your life where you felt like most passionate, or like the highest point of your life so far? I mean, you have way more to go, but
I would say when on this Morocco trip, it really brought home a lot of things. But I remember us going to the Bedouin camp of women whose husbands left them to join. Selling drugs and contraband, and they were out in the middle of the Sahara Desert with nothing. Wow. And everybody in the group brought presents.
Aww.
And I remember I went on Amazon and I got these little pellets that you put water on it, and it opens up to a sponge.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of those.
It could be a towel, it could be a sponge, it could be
shapes.
Anything. It just opens up, and it could be used for so many things. This woman cried.
Aww.
And we took up a collection in the group, and we gave her money, and she took half of the money and gave half of it immediately to another woman in the group of her in the Bedouin community. And just to hear them express the happiness made us, we got more out of it than they did. So
it's one of those rewarding experiences.
To help people who have less than you is really, an amazing feeling.
That's really nice.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for meeting with me.
Oh, you're welcome.
And it was nice meeting you.
All right, stay gutsy.
Yeah.